The president has made no secret of how he feels about people entering the country illegally. But tonight, there's evidence that another of his golf clubs, this one just 30 miles north of Manhattan, was employing housekeepers, maintenance workers, and other staff who presented phony documents when they were given the job. The story first reported by the Washington Post. It's not unusual to find undocumented workers in the hotel and food service industries, but the Trump clubs are in a class of their own, still owned by the president and managed by his sons.
For 14 years, Gabriel Sedano worked in building maintenance at the Trump National Golf Club in Westchester County, New York.
Like painting, plumbing, like everything we had to fix in there.
In the apartment he shares with a wife and 3 kids, he showed us his uniform and years of pay stubs. Maria Priego was a seasonal housekeeper at the Trump Club for 3 years, both from Puebla, Mexico. They crossed the border on foot.
Why did you come here illegally?
To give them a better life.
You wanted to work?
Yeah, I do want to work.
Maria and Gabriel both say they presented forged green cards and Social Security cards when hired.
They didn't ask any questions?
No, any questions, no, nothing.
Did anyone at the Trump Golf Club direct you to get false documents?
No.
But Gabriel told us he thinks people at the highest levels of the Trump organization knew they were hiring undocumented workers to save money, paying low wages and no benefits.
Do you think they knew at the club that your documents were false?
That's like what I think, like because they need employees and like they don't check like really good.
Our jobs are being stripped from our country like we're babies.
Gabriel says President Trump spoke with him during his years at the club and suspects the president also knew there were undocumented workers on staff.
I can like be sure about that, but like he gotta know. Like
you think the president must have known?
He must know.
We spoke with 6 former club workers on camera and others who didn't want their faces shown. A dozen say they were fired on January 18th. Margarita Cruz recorded her meeting. In a statement to NBC News, the Trump Organization's Eric Trump says, "We have tens of thousands of employees across our properties and have very strict hiring practices. If any employee submitted false documentation in an attempt to circumvent the law, they will be terminated immediately. We take this issue very seriously. This is one of the reasons my father is fighting so hard for immigration reform. The system is broken." Now, the workers' attorney is taking some of them to Capitol Hill to meet with Democrats.
The Trump Organization is a criminal enterprise. There is a federal crime here, and these people who were fired are material witnesses to a federal crime.
That attorney is calling for a federal and state investigations. The White House had no comment on the suggestion that the president knew about undocumented workers. Eric Trump did also tell the Washington Post this situation is one of the reasons his father is fighting so hard for immigration reform.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.